The discussion with Emily was just about the contract, or did you discuss anything else?
Well, I hope I'm not out of place by saying so, but I did ask her about the contract, and she said there wasn't a contract, they were just given the go-ahead. And as far as the quality of the work and what's the big problem here, they're aware that that is going on. She was a little upset because no one has ever asked them to fix it or go back and do anything. So I encouraged her to come and sort of represent themselves rather than being represented by someone else. They had been advised by someone else not to come here because they'll just get mad or get upset. And I said, yeah, but then it will be real. You know, I says, nobody's ever heard from you guys.
I see there's rules of order under old business. Finally gonna operate under some kind of rules of order? So, is this meeting gonna be conducted under rules of order from the beginning?
These are drafts.
What's that?
This is a draft
A draft of what?
of rules of order.
What do you mean?
It hasn't been discussed yet.
But the town has rules of order in effect right now. Excuse me?
We do not.
Yes, we do. Those were established 20 years ago. You're telling me your meetings are conducted with no rules of order at the time being?
We'll discuss it when the agenda item.
Okay, let's wait for Tyler to come in. We haven't started the meeting yet.
How can you start a meeting with no rules of order? My question. That can't even happen. Am I wrong about that, or you can't even open a meeting without rules of order?
I don't have any comment right at the time, Mike.
Wow. Anybody in this room amazed at that besides me? Looks like the rules of order need to be the very first thing in this meeting, not down here in old business.
I'll get the door.
That's me saying I'm doing better.
That's it. mind standing out.
Oh, no, no, no. We don't need to do that. We'll find some chairs.
Are there some downstairs, Marty, that can use?
No. Trade it out.
Someone beat me up.
Well, you can sit wherever, I was just kind of moving them over if they're bringing more. You're fine, you won't have to knock out of you.
No, you're not.
This is crunchy sounding.
Hey, Bob.
Take it out of here.
You know that.
Good, I went in to check on the zoning,
Oh, nice.
and, Marty said that you would come in and to talk about it too.
Yeah, and they told me to go online and it's all, well, I forget who it was, told me to go online.
Okay, so can I just wait until it comes up?
Yeah.
So, I haven't found out anything.
So if we all think about this.
No, Mike.
How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ed, you remember when you were selected,
Yes, I do.
that the town is, the meetings are conducted according to Robert's Rules of Order?
Supposedly, no.
That's what I thought.
I think, actually, it was, I
You have one more
saw,
agenda?
it was a statement, it was something like, the meetings will be held in general, in the general, framework of Robert's Rules of Order. It didn't, it sort of left some wiggle room. Hey, John. Is that the agenda?
Yeah. You need another agenda?
No.
Say that, just, take it home with you, if you want. We'll send you the bill. Oh, I guess we buy and from the bank, and it's all shown online, it's residential,
Thanks for
and
the,
what's
okay, let me know.
done.
In case you want to stretch out.
Yeah, when I heard that you were kind of doing the same thing, and I stopped.
Yeah, I just happened to be in
And
it.
I realized I was like in the truck and had something
She's
to
like,
move,
"Steve,
so
why?"
change spots.
No,
I
no.
drove away and we left there.
I thought you turned me off.
So it has a sign on it.
Thank you.
This is it? This is it. You know,
No, yeah.
The other side.
so, yeah, I
It's gonna be a
said,
short
oh,
meeting.
something I heard, so it's, you know,
Where's
this is
gonna be short.
and then, this is so often the ones out to find.
I was just looking at that.
I'm where, Ari? But I thought,
They, everything's sort of decorated up.
yeah.
So one year now.
Yeah, I know.
And so
I damaged my spinal cord in March.
that's
So
what
I
happened.
had
That's what people
surgery
figured out.
and
Great. I remember that.
pink pain and urine.
It wasn't, it's not really explained all that great.
I did,
But
and, for all the
this happens with
exercise, we hand out
those
some
physical
of
years
it.
of they should
And I do it them at home, I do them in the room.
So,
5 weeks ago, I started walking
Big
down
deal.
the
That's the message. It's on time.
and I worked over a year. I don't disagree with that.
Avoid that. I'm tired of. No, I went, well, I eventually did. I went to my nurse practitioner, went to a neurologist, then neurosurgeon. And I was trying to figure out why my legs died. And the bladder. That's the area control. That's nothing else. And the neurosurgeon said he worked on his and I showed him this where I could see this one that I exposed. So he just they're doing the whole decompression. Open it up. And I said, when it's being used,
Right.
it's up to me.
You know what the stumpage rate is for gravel?
So I'm not gonna walk. I have
Do you know what they're getting like at a pit, like Luke's Pit or?
trade incentive.
Yeah, it's like $10 a yard.
Is it $10 a yard?
Just dump it.
Delivered like 20?
Yeah, you got truck it on top of that. So to get a load of gravel delivered, it's $18 a yard.
Usually when it helped, I lost quite a bit, and I need to have more.
$18 a yard for delivery.
That's what I was hoping for,
Anyway.
but I lost
Yeah.
enough, I wouldn't have to use
Jeez,
it.
I didn't realize it was that high, $10 a
Oh,
yard.
yeah, help them out, no question.
What is it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you find the right guy, you might get
Yeah,
$5.
not going up more.
I was wondering what Rick was getting.
Because it's going on low, so, and it's
Anybody here that would know that? Anybody?
Oh, I'm sorry,
You
I
get
didn't.
5 if you're on both sides.
Yeah, right, he is. So, they did do that.
I know what they,
Same issue, the same area. It's,
I don't really know.
and then I think everybody
See,
over
I
this.
wish I had all this stuff copied. Everybody a copy.
Whatever.
Eric measures the footage.
I did too. Yeah.
Come up short.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that? Yeah,
I go,
the minute
So have you
clock.
seen the contract signed for this project?
I do the Mylar.
Does anybody give you a copy of the contract?
I do have that, but I don't know about anything being signed.
How'd the contract get issued then?
How did I get it?
No, how did the town issue a contract when nobody signed it?
Oh, well, I thought I had them in my deck when they spawned.
Who okayed the contract?
They never wanted it. So I never
I
moved.
think it might have just been a town
And
meeting.
this other thing, where she explained it,
Anything over 500 has to go to the
arms that came out,
Yes.
whatever.
Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
All good? All right. What's that? All right, good evening, everybody. We'll start with public comment. Stacy, up first.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Stacy Shorey. I'm the superintendent of RSU 68, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. We received $1.7 million from the American Rescue Plan for President Biden, and that plan, those funds required us to have a meeting with all the constituents and to create a plan on how to spend that money. So in August, I met with teachers and staff and parents and community members, and there was a Zoom meeting. And we had probably 25 people that participated. So we talked about how we would expend the funds, and the top request was a special education space. We had just hired a new special ed teacher, and she's sharing a space with another teacher currently, so students are trying to shift in and out of those rooms. We also talked about requests for stage lighting for drama, furniture for the classrooms. We're looking at one new set of whole new furniture for one classroom per grade level, thematic books for grade levels, and then outdoor instruments for music. We also know, as a board, we talked about the fact that our roof on the middle school is about 37 years old, and we've increasingly had to call people to come and plug up some of our leaks. So we're looking to replace that roof, and that will cost about $500,000 to do that. Yeah. And from the time we got the first quote to the time we got the second quote, it went up $60,000. We're required to put 20% of the funds away to support students, and that's about $350,000. The plan is over the next 3 years to provide tutoring for students that are in the, we give a test called the MWEA. It's a computerized test that students take, and based on how they answer the questions either get harder or easier. And so it gives us a percentile based on 100%. And so if they are in the 50th percentile, then we would consider them meeting the standard. That would be like the average. So kiddos that are in like the 30th to 40th percentile, those kiddos would get tutoring. They would be offered tutoring, and we would transport them to centralized locations in each of our towns. We'll also offer 2 nights a week like homework support, and we will also transport students from school to centralized locations in each of our towns. And then the rest of those funds will be used to hire a math interventionist at the K-2 level. So when we looked at the space to build, we had 2 options. One, it would be to fill in the quad in the middle school, and we would put 3 classrooms and 2 bathrooms. We're badly in need of additional bathrooms in the middle school.
One for boys and one for girls?
Probably they would just be, open. They would probably just be open to whoever needed to use them.
Okay.
And then the other option would be to build a central office, and that would, my office currently is upstairs in the elementary side of the building, and we'd be able to divide that into 2 classrooms. And it would also give us another conference room and a space for a sensory for our occupational therapy, students that need occupational therapy. So the cost for that is about $550,000. The cost for filling in the quad was $1.4 million. So we just didn't really have enough to be able to do the quad, and then also the $350,000 that we needed to put, that 20% aside for, students that needed support. So, we're really looking at building the central office on campus, separate building. It would house the technology director, myself, the business manager, and my secretary. And then the biggest room would be for files, because in our world, special ed and in regular ed, we have to keep files forever. So we have filing cabinets dating back to the early 1900s, and some of them I think are Monson students. So.
Did you get gym equipment?
We did get our gym equipment.
I heard that.
Yes, it's really nice. So with that, moving the central office, we would move the special ed teacher that's now sharing a space. They would each have their own space. So we would have a grade K to 2, 3 to 5, and a 6 through 8. The plan would be, I put better on, this is the last select board meeting that I will need to go to, and then November 29th, right after Thanksgiving, we'll have a public meeting, and then the vote would be December 7th. And for Monson, that time is 8 to 4. So with this money, we did have the funds to be able to do a bunch of the enrichment things. So we are looking at putting stage lighting in for our drama, for our plays. We do elementary and middle school plays. So that would go in the cafeteria. And we are also looking at the outdoor instruments. We have planted, we're in the process of planting a garden. If you're familiar with campus, if you are at the elementary playground and look up the hill, we put a pre-K playground in, and then right beside that is where we're going to put the garden. So I think we're going to start with things that will make a salad.
They'll eat them.
Yes. And so the outdoor instruments, we're going to put them in that area, and we're going to fence that area in. So if all goes to plan, we would go out to bid in February, and hopefully have a contractor in place so that we break ground in the spring and have the building, they tell me it'll take about a month to put the building up, and so that we would be able to be in by early summer. So then people can get into where my office is, put the wall in. I think we have to make a sprinkler and have that ready for September for our students to be able to use. Long-term costs, around $1,000 for electricity and heat. We're planning to use some of the solar power from the field house, which should save us about 50%. Which for us would be about $15,000. Yeah, $15,000 a year. At the same time, we'd go out to bid on the roof, so we do the roof in the spring as well for the middle school. Sorry, I do have a. So this is what the building would look like. On the back page, you can see kind of the layout of the building. You can see the file from the survey. And on the back page, you can kind of see our campus and where the building will be located. We were very fortunate to get quite a bit of funding. And we tried really hard to make sure that what we do is like one-time cost. We put generators in. We've redone all of the heating in the middle school. We've upgraded the heating in the elementary school so that it has better ventilation. But we also updated the what was the old Head Start building. We purchased that back because we're anticipating not this coming budget year, but the following, that 3-year-olds with special needs will become part of the district responsibility. So trying to be proactive, we redid that building, retrofitted that building so that it's ready for 3-year-olds. And I met with the area superintendents, and we're looking at doing a regional program to help with costs.
That'll work.
Why do you think they want to take care of 3-year-olds especially?
They're doing a study on it right now. It's called Child Development Services that has been kind of oversight to that, and they've always overexpended their budget. So they think that they think if they give them back to public schools, that will do a better job of. So there's legislation. There's legislation. And, yeah. Do you have any other questions, or?
Well, these are all ARP funds, there's no matching funds on behalf of the community or anything, it's
Nope.
all federal money.
All federal money.
It's all free government money.
Well, our great-grandchildren will be still paying for it, but yes. I mean, it's one of those things, I mean, we could not accept it, but we'd be crazy probably to not accept and have the opportunity to do some things for our students.
But afterwards, there will be expenses to the taxpayers of the district, we got heat and all of that different stuff.
So, the heating, we're trying to be very efficient with our
Couple
heating
long costs.
and electricity costs, but I'm thinking that the solar power work that we're going to do is going to offset some of those costs.
Yeah, there'll be other maintenance stuff to do.
Down the road, yes. Yeah.
Janitorial services, stuff.
No, the people that we have right now will be able to
Yeah,
do that. We won't have to hire anybody
but
else.
later on, there'll be other costs that taxpayers will be paying.
For upkeep, like a new roof or, but probably not for 15 or 20 years.
Hopefully, long as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. Sorry, I should have mentioned this at the top of the meeting, but for those who aren't wearing masks, please grab one over here in the box next to the maps.
Hey, cameraman, put one on too.
Yep.
Is there an ordinance on the mask?
There is a requirement that
Is
everybody.
there an ordinance? It ain't a requirement, is there an ordinance?
There is a requirement from the select board that everybody.
It has to be an
attending-
ordinance, it doesn't, it's not a requirement, it's an ordinance.
Richard, you have the choice to either put on a mask or you can leave.
Not leaving.
If you're not going to leave, we'll call the sheriff and.
Under what rules of order
This is
are
the
you
rule
doing that?
Call
according
the
to
sheriff, I'm sure
the
they
select
won't
board.
be bothered by that.
We are
Just a
participating
hunch.
on Zoom, so folks that do not want to be here can participate in Zoom as well.
You have people on Zoom,
Yep.
shouldn't we know who they are?
Oh,
Yeah.
They have names, yeah?
Jim Peters, and I don't know the other, it's Tim's iPad. I don't know if they want to introduce themselves.
No, we don't need to do introductions. But the fact of the matter is, masks are required at the meeting. So if people aren't interested in putting on masks, you can leave and attend on Zoom, or we can call the sheriff's department, or we could just adjourn the meeting. And
By
come back
what
another
rules of
time.
order?
The select board has the authority to make such rules.
Really?
We have to put an
Where is that
ordinance in.
written?
Gentlemen, I'm not interested in arguing with you. There are 2 people, 3 people here without masks. We have the option of adjourning the meeting, or you can just put on the masks.
Call the sheriff.
I'll make a
that's
motion
it,
that
that's
we
what I heard.
adjourn the
I didn't
meeting.
know he was enforcing it.
Wait a minute, you just gave a choice. What makes you decide everything and
Mr.
you
Whitcomb.
totally ignore the people in this room?
This is not.
Yes,
your
it
turn to
is.
speak. I'm sorry, it's not.
What are the rules of order that the meeting is conducted by?
This is not your time to speak. The
You-
rules of the meeting,
Where,
as
where do the
determined-
rules come from?
I'm not interested in arguing with you.
Well, somebody has to have
Wait a minute,
rules.
Wait a minute, is this the correct procedure?
Ed
Just
Hoover,
to the chair because.
Ed Hoover used to be a selectman, and he'll tell you, Robert's Rules of Orders is what the town runs by.
The requirement of this meeting is that everybody wear masks if you wish to attend in person. If that's gonna be a problem,
I don't
then
see
we
no
can
ordinance
adjourn the
on the
meeting.
bottom of the, on that sign, so
Richard.
it doesn't matter.
Richard, I'm not here to
I'll
argue
share.
with you.
Let's do it.
I think that's probably also, in retrospect, that's probably also a waste of resources. So if people aren't interested in wearing meetings, then I would move that we adjourn the meeting and come back another time.
You don't wanna call the sheriff? Do you by chance suspect he doesn't
Can I
enforce
speak
it?
first?
Because
No,
there's no
I'm sorry,
ordinance
this
on
is a
this, and you
discussion
can't
for the
enforce
select
it.
board.
Why just the select board? How come the select board is the only one that can speak?
Because that is.
Under what rules does that happen?
So we'll have a discussion.
You're
Eric
losing it.
and Sue,
You're losing it.
what are your thoughts on this?
Under what rules does only the select
Mr.
board
Witham,
talk?
you have not been recognized. Please refrain.
The meeting hasn't even started.
It has, sir.
What are the rules of order then?
The select board does not have written rules of order. That's-
Really? Under what law did you decide that one?
Okay, Mr. Witham, I'm done speaking with you for
You
now.
call the sheriff on me too?
Sue?
Well, the select board is, one of our responsibilities is public safety. And I can tell you that my husband is a nurse at a local hospital. We have the highest hospitalization rate for COVID in the state right now. And I am very concerned about protecting public health.
If you were that concerned, you made an ordinance.
There is no ordinance. The meeting is for select board to conduct our business. And there's no requirement that we allow for public comment according to the statute.
Oh, you don't even have to
Mr.
allow
Witham,
public
you-
comment?
That'll
Mr.
look great in
Witham,
the
you have
paper,
not
won't
been
it?
recognized. Sue, please continue.
I guess I'll-
Eric?
Yeah, the only comment I had is, has it been now about a month and a half, our town manager came down with COVID, and of course, we were all exposed to it. We were all wearing masks, now whether or not that helped us, that may not be anything, but it happened in a meeting, it happened in the selectmen's meeting. And then secondly, I have two relatives right now that have COVID, and, I don't need to go any further than that. But it's around, and if anything that we can do to kind of protect ourselves, hopefully it helps us. Those are the only 2 points I have.
Point of order, but actually,
I'm sorry, miss, this is not a
I just
discussion.
wanted to know if we can let them stay and continue the meeting.
I'm sorry?
I just wanted to know if we could vote to let them stay.
That's not how these meetings work.
I just didn't know if we could make that, you know. I'd like some business, but oh well.
When do you want to reschedule the meeting?
That's not for discussion right
Oh,
now.
you gotta be
The fact
kidding
of the matter is, we have a decision to make here.
Well, let's go by the rules of order then.
Mr. Witham, you have not been recognized.
Well, nobody has, it's public comment.
It's,
And I am public.
Recognize him.
Yes, recognize him.
as the chair of this meeting,
I would like to be recognized.
you have not been recognized.
You did call public comment to order.
So, Eric, Sue, I'm of the opinion that we should adjourn the meeting. The select board has voted unanimously to adjourn the meeting. Thank you for attending, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Be back.
That was easy.
You could leave.
People need to stand up for their rights.
Emailed Daniel asking if he knew where it was, and he didn't respond.
No, that's okay, no, that's good.
Call the governor, but we don't know what to do.
I mean, it'll turn out.
Let's go to the bar and have a meeting and have some.
And that was
we're on too, we're not the highest. We're the least. You look at all the numbers and stuff, you know, Scottsdale is the lowest, even with all the cases, it's still the lowest.
So I've had this, gee, boy,
And I made that
big deal, I've had a cold
with the
this year,
grain,
okay?
home of the
Because
bison.
they're someone they know.
No, that's the other thing I was.
That's really not scientific or statistical.
Probably it's only
That you
the
have.
flu that we have, because the test it is, exactly.
I just like to think about it.
How long you been working?
You know what, believe it or not, this interferes with oxygen intake. Yeah, sure, I'm not gonna die with a keel over with like a certain flu, but I can't feel.
75 years old. Absolutely.
I would rather them call this sheriff.
That's why they did, yeah, that's why they didn't wanna go home.
That ordinance has to be on that side.
That's why they didn't wanna call, because they knew.
They're just looking for an excuse, they don't wanna hear it.
Oh, yeah.
On tonight.
Right, because there's more people here, so now they're like, ooh.
This is gonna wind up even more ignorant.
Oh, did they win that?
Might even be in trouble. I know.
Where to work and not too far from yeah.
Well, we didn't hear it, of course, they have no obligation, but we heard it through
She was telling us about Brian going over there, and she went over to his house. Well, before, because she had problems, you know. So she went over to the house, but she never came. So she said, so I'm standing there, and so he called me down there. Sheriff found her because he said she was going through shit. She goes, I was on the porch, and she goes, you know how he has, you know, a freezer and stuff, you know, and he goes, there's shit all over. She goes, I was just looking for a piece of paper to write my number down as I'm talking to him to say, here, call me when you got checked, because he had the surgery on his eye. He called the cops saying she was ransacking his house.
Whatever happens, they're all going.
Oh my God. Well, they're talking. Right. I mean, why are they talking? If you shut down your thing, say goodnight, you go.
address the condition of the property that he owns. Joe and Jackie are all better.
Okay, with what you want to put on there?
Yeah. Well, and Amanda kind of,
You know, 18 months and stuff. She's going on and on, and I'm like looking at her going, you know what, it wasn't explained good then, because, no, I need to know where that money went. The school year changed, and, I'm like looking at her going, okay, still doesn't make sense to me. Why 12 months or 15 months to 12 months? I'm like, fiscal year.
I don't have it right here.
You hired I'm like Danny came home and he said, oh no, but he goes, Steve's not working.
Oh, God, I don't even I just don't know what to do.
I had a bad day, so we gotta go in. I'm like, well, you know what? There's no new truck coming. And he's going for his license. Damn fireworks, they're fireworks. All right, man.
Yeah, that was something I was gonna ask you.
I don't know. I can tell you.
Yeah, and so you follow that tomorrow.
They have to post it.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. You would think all that would have to be discussed at a selectmen's meeting, wouldn't it? The next posting. I mean, you just can't do it on your own, can you?
That's not real stuff, because it has to be an
Can I
ordinance.
take my mask off?
There has to be an ordinance on sign to be legal. There's no ordinance. But stores are trying to allow that.
For us, it's
Now, I wanted to ask, even if you had a vote on the selectmen's meeting in Bennington.
because if it doesn't get
Well, an ordinance has to go through some committee, voted on by the town. I'm sorry. I'm old enough to get
And the other reaction would be what we really should do.
So, I'll see you tomorrow.
We're having our own private meeting.
I came home, I brought the dog, you know,
We're having our own private meeting over there.
Your dog was really nice. I brought the dog. And the dog was in the truck.
Thanks for not letting her out.
She wanted to. But she was not aggressive. No. She didn't want to jump.
Hey, John.
You had a chance. Oh, you mean south side? Yeah, on Saturday. Saturday evening. Yeah, I got caught up. So I took a week off.
Okay, behind you.
Good. All right. Great idea.
I know you have nothing to do, so.
Yeah, I know. Well, if there's more than 2 people in here, she'll cancel.
Oh, man, she wanted him to call the sheriff.
I'm good for it. I was ready for him.
I know you were.
You're right.
Take your time.
Oh, thank you much.
Good, I enjoyed every minute of it.
Me too.
Shit.